Welcome to another episode of Royo on Tour. Today is part 3, Lofoten. The route from Finland to Norway was quite wet, as you can see here. Luckily, it was only temporary. The Norwegian language has quite a few words and places that are almost unpronounceable for us. And that is why I put the names on the screen. Waking up and this view, it is amazing, isn't it? If we could, we took a B road, sometimes very beautiful, some was driving impossible. So we have to make a U-turn. And here is a nice service place, complete with a toilet with a dumped station for grey and black water, and to take in drinking water and to refill the diesel tank. In contrast to Finland, this area has a lot of tunnels. And what a joy to ride! It seems like every other corner has a new view. And another coffee stop with a toilet. The Norwegian way to motivate you: don't drive too fast. And here on a rock you see a seal. But when the seal saw me, he quickly dived under the water. You can see how crystal clear this water is. Napp is a very small fishing village. Here is no shop, no pub, no church, only fishing. It was a nice and quiet place to stay overnight.
Most of the water we see during our driving through Lofoten is seawater. And then you see high tide and low tide, as you can see here.
A beautiful blue sea and a beautiful white beach. Some guys want to impress their girlfriends and went for a swim. But it was only in and out of water. The water was quite cold now. Here you see fish drying racks, wooden racks to dry fish. These are just a few, but later on you see much more. Many of these bridges are used to connect the islands, which locals can pass under their fishing boats. At first sight, we were surprised about these picturesque fishermen's houses. Later on, we discovered that most of these fishermen's houses are intended for tourists. Just as we climbed over the rocks, we saw some dolphins swimming at sea. Sadly, I was a bit too late with my camera to capture. Here again, crystal clear water. I don't know if it's the time of year or the temperature or the rain, but it's very beautiful here on Lofoten.
Driving through Lofoten, you see a lot of these red iconic houses. What is the origin of these iconic houses, called rådhus cabins? The first rådhus cabins in Norway were commissioned by a king. It was in 1100. He decided that needed to be housing for the fishermen during the Lofoten fishing season. The cabins were simple, built on poles and partly out in the sea, and usually with 2 rooms, a storage room and a living room with beds. The storage room was used to store food and fishing equipment and for preparations for a new day on the waters around Lofoten. A lot of these rådhus cabins in Lofoten are in use for touristic reasons, but I think that a few of them are still in use by fishermen during fishing season.
We said it before, fish drying racks, where you hang your fish to dry. What I understand, they mainly dry stockfish here. Cold fish get a special taste due to the salt air and wind. And here the pride of Lofoten, the most northern football field in the world. And the more south you come on Lofoten, more fish drying racks are there as well. A football field between the fish drying racks. And there are more to come. If you watch carefully, you see a hare.
As told before, the fish drying racks are perfect for stockfish production. In Lofoten, the climate is perfect for stockfish production outdoors. In the drying season from February to June, it is not too cold nor too warm. The fish is naturally dried in the sun and wind, and in Lofoten there is always a light breeze that gives the optimal drying conditions. It is not known exactly when the Norwegians started to produce stockfish, but the drying of fish is the oldest known preservation method, and dried fish can be stored for several years. The Norse sagas tells us that the Vikings brought stockfish for food on their journeys. The tradition of drying cod has been handed down from generation to generation on the Lofoten Islands. Stockfish is unsalted fish cut in specific ways and hung in pairs on wooden racks. The method is cheap and effective, and the work can be done by the fisherman and his family. The production method of stockfish is very conservative and has not changed much for hundreds of years. The traditional method is still in use today, and some places there hang thousands of fish on the racks. The fish hangs on the racks for almost 4 months. The dried fish is then matured for 2 or 3 months. During this period, 70% of the water is going out of the fish.
And here you can see how touristic Lofoten also can be. And this is the southernmost point you can drive by car. Along this old road I saw an old foundation, and I thought you would have a very nice view over the sea here. It was a very nice walk, nice weather, but a lot of steep slopes. And here ends our last night in Lofoten. This is the end of this episode. We hope you enjoyed it. And we hope to take you again next time on our journey now through Sweden.